Time for another Brakeman Building update. Exciting things are happening. Episode 122 of the Love in Lebanon podcast has the details. Megan Anderson from Forza Commercial Real Estate and Donovan Goodrow and Tiffany Brewer from JG2 Companies stopped by for a chat. Find out when the Brakeman Building will be completed and operational right now.
Welcome to the Love in Lebanon podcast, highlighting all the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Have an idea for an episode? Send an email to loveinlebanon@lebanon.in.gov.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to the Love in Lebanon podcast. For this episode, we continue to get excited about new things that are popping up throughout our community. And one of those things, right along the main thoroughfare as you head towards downtown Lebanon, is of course the Brakeman Building. And we're giving you an update on this episode of the podcast. Joining us this time around from Forza, we have Megan Anderson. She is the real estate asset manager for Forza Commercial Real Estate. We also have Tiffany Brewer. She's the VP of Fee Management with JG2. We're going to talk about JG2 in just a little bit. And Donovan Goodrow, he is the CEO and owner of JG2. Guys, thanks for being here on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Yes, thanks.
It's a really exciting time for all of us that are connected with this project. Completion date, everyone's kind of looking and hoping that happens in the near future. Megan, can you kind of give us from a Forza perspective where things stand now? I know on the side, as you look at the signage, it's July of 2023, and so we're anxiously kind of looking at the calendar. We know things get delayed and all that with construction, timing, and Mother Nature and all that. But how are things going as far as the project is concerned?
Yeah, no, great question. Things are going well. We do have, on the multifamily side, we've got sheetrock in on the inside, cabinetry going in, paint, all of that good stuff. Our outside is looking nice and finished with all that new brick there on the facade. We are anticipating, at this point, fingers crossed if all goes well with the final stages of construction, all of our ship dates hit. Mid-September to October 1st.
Excellent. And I'm guessing you guys, and in talking with Jordan Bass in a previous version of our podcast, people were already starting to call and wanting to be in this space and be living there. I'm guessing those calls have just gotten more and more frequent as more and more bricks have been added to the exterior of the building that we see kind of right outside my window here.
Yeah, absolutely. We do get calls daily, emails from our form stack on the website there through Forza's website. So we are handing that off to our management company, JG2, to begin doing lease up for us. And so they should be calling back folks here and giving them information on the apartments and getting folks into leases and all signed up.
And how important is it to have that great team? And Donovan and Tiffany, feel free to jump in here for JG2. And everybody, you might be listening and figure out who we're talking about here. JG2 is a company that is just getting started here in Lebanon, but certainly well known throughout the Indianapolis area. What was it about Lebanon that made you guys, Tiffany and Donovan, want to jump in and join up with Forza and kind of dip a toe in here in Lebanon?
I think it's an exciting new experience for Lebanon and Forza with us partnering with them. It's a great and booming area, so we're excited to take a part of that and really just handle those day-to-day operations and providing a sense of community at this location.
And everyone, you may be hearing the name, and it's James Management Group was the previous name of JG2 and a rebrand, as our city did back in 2016 and 17. Tiffany, what can you say about just the need for something along these lines? This is the first ever multi-use, being able to have some retail or something on the first floor, a mixed-use building here in Lebanon, being able to have apartments above, the first of its kind here in Lebanon. Can you talk about the importance of these mixed-use areas that you've seen for young professionals and really anyone throughout the Indianapolis area?
Yes, it's very much a unique development, which reduces auto dependency, provides the town with additional housing, more business opportunities in just one place, and really utilizes the land and the infrastructure.
Megan, why was it so important to find a great company, a great partner like JG2 to be able to jump in and have someone be able to take this on and being able to manage the property, which really harnesses into their strengths?
Yeah, definitely. So, this is a pioneer development for the community. We're glad to have somebody on board that does have previous experience with mixed use. we're really looking forward to working with JG2 on this project. Not only do they meet our needs for third-party management services, but they're currently working with us on another property where we've seen residents come to us firsthand and describe just how pleased they are with the management company. And I think that speaks volumes.
And throwing this out there for anyone to answer, that one of those things that you want to have it a well-rounded product where people from all walks of life can call this place home.
Definitely a well-rounded project. So anyone that wants to live there, we welcome anyone to apply.
As far as first floor space, ideally, what are you hoping to have there? I know right now, kind of before we hit record, Megan, you're talking about how it's still a very raw space as really what is being worked on right now is the residential side, waiting for that user to come into the first floor. Have any idea or have any kind of wishful thinking, kind of what you're hoping to be able to provide in that space for the residents and for those of us that may work right across the street from State Road 39 here in Lebanon?
Yeah, we're still working on that end on the commercial side. I think ideally, in my mind, looking at an operational, day-to-day perspective, it'd be great to get somebody in there that can also provide services not only for folks, in the vicinity and in the community, but for our residents that live in the building.
Everyone, where you're listening to this podcast here, we're talking with Megan and Tiffany and Donovan, kind of getting things set up for the Brakeman project, the Brakeman Building, going to be able to be a great new addition to our downtown community and right along the thoroughfare near downtown Lebanon. If we can kind of talk about some of the lease rates that some of those folks can expect to pay once they move in. We talked about in a previous episode with Jordan Bass, but being able to kind of have a higher end product for those people that call that building home. Can we talk about lease rates or kind of where you can expect for those to fall for people who might want to move in at some later date when the building is ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, so as far as pricing and lease rates, we are going to be in line with similar market rate apartments in the general area. We do anticipate publishing these rental rates in the coming days as we continue getting set up and going online with JG2.
And obviously, you here in Lebanon being a blue-collar community for the most part, there has been in the past some sticker shock when it comes to seeing rental rates of high-end apartments because these are kind of the first of their kind. And certainly this one, as we talked about, being a mixed-use building in our downtown. Importance for people to understand that what they're moving into isn't your run-of-the-mill apartment building. This is high-end living, for lack of a better phrase, and I'm sure on the JG2 side, you guys have a great term for it. That's something it's probably above my intelligence level when it comes to the field. But importance for them to note that it's not just a traditional apartment they're moving into, but this is something higher level, higher grade.
Yes, we're going to market it as basically luxury, and you're right on spot with the high-end living. But we still want to provide quality and affordable living with it.
Is there the term that I should be getting in my vernacular as I speak about these to become more educated, Tiffany?
No, I think you got it spot on. So yeah, kudos to you.
Oh, geez. So luxury living. I'll just keep the alliteration of the luxury living here on the Love in Lebanon podcast. Guys, other things that we should keep in mind as we get closer to seeing this building open. I know it's one of those that every time you walk by, every time you drive by, it's always really fascinating to see all the work that is taking place and how different it looks just every time you take a look at it. Other things that we should know, be ready for, other selling points with this building?
Yeah, so we're as construction continues, we're ramping up. Things are going to move very, very quickly. We do hope to have, once we get a little bit closer to going live within the building, a time where we can announce to the community kind of an open house so folks can come by, but more information to that on that to follow.
So as we continue to talk about the Brakeman Building here, everybody here on the Love in Lebanon podcast, Megan, just for people that may have missed the previous podcast episode and are seeing the building from the outside and oohing and eyeing and seeing some of the conceptual designs, can you kind of run down what makes this Brakeman Building so special or kind of the features that would go along with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So specifically on the multifamily side, we're gonna have a range of apartment types and sizes, studio, one bedroom, two bedrooms, and a range of price points. And we hope to accommodate a variety of household types and lifestyle preferences. Inside on the multifamily side, we'll have 44 apartment homes. Interior features are going to include things like your stainless steel appliances, including microwave, granite countertops. We'll actually have washer dryers in the unit, not just the hookups, and then lighted ceiling fans in all of the bedrooms as well as in the living rooms. And then in select units, we will also have the walk-in closets. As far as what to expect on the property side, there's going to be off-street parking both behind the building and directly across the street. The building itself is going to have access control, parcel lockers. This is going to be a pet-friendly community. And then, of course, the community itself with its location will be walkable to downtown shops and restaurants.
And if we can kind of talk about the walkability just a little bit, and Tiffany, if you can kind of talk about what you've seen from JG Squared's kind of resume and what a property manager and management group would do. How important is the walkability factor and kind of some of the things that Megan was talking about as selling points with the community? Your downtown is not far away. There's a multi-use trail. We like to call it the Monon 2.0. We have aspirations for that for the years to come. But those things and being able to be with a property management group, can you kind of lay out those types of pluses with a project like this and what you've seen in the past with JG Squared as well?
With housing like this and the multi-use, like I mentioned before, it creates a sense of community and a unique development. It reduces that auto dependency, so people are able to bike more, get a healthier lifestyle, and with tons of options in the area and in the building itself. So promotes even more business opportunities in one place.
And looking on and stalking, I'm going to be honest, stalking the JG2Companies.com website, the different properties that the company has managed in the past, the walkability, I'm guessing, is a positive selling point. Have you seen that work elsewhere that maybe prospective residents listening to this podcast would be able to get maybe excited about as we get closer for the Brakeman Building opening?
Yes, we have communities that have that walkability to them, and it truly is a big beneficial factor in when people lease with us, just because it reduces gas expenses and a lot of other features for that matter.
And one of the things that we love about the trail, and was, to be honest, just riding it just a couple of days ago, this past weekend, is just the overall quality of life, too, just being able to have that amenity close by. And I'm guessing it's something that you guys have seen in JG Squared and being able to have other communities that have those amenities and what they mean for the quality of life of residents. And I'm guessing as a property management group, you're looking to kind of maybe replicate not duplicate, but replicate that kind of way of thinking, that way of life for prospective residents of this building?
Yes, that's true. And to provide a healthy lifestyle. And
a healthy lifestyle is important for all walks of life. And as you guys have stated previously in the podcast, that this will be a place for a community for all walks of life and all age groups as well. If we can kind of recap here as we take the final lap on our Love in Lebanon podcast episode, making that timeline again later on this year in 2023, it will happen. Will be coming to fruition, correct?
Correct. So again, fingers crossed if all goes well. We hit our dates with construction. We are looking at mid-September to October 1st. So anticipate October 1st.
And then the attraction of the first floor space continues. Everybody cannot wait to bring you details once things get finalized there. Hey, who knows? Maybe another podcast episode, including the teams from both Forza and JG Squared. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of the Love in Lebanon podcast. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you to everybody for listening to this episode. More episodes are coming your way soon. Take care, everybody.